That's how we start the show. Breeze Nation, what is good? Everybody good? Is everybody good? Are we here?
We gonna be all right, dog.
Breeze
I don't
Nation.
know.
Yo,
We not good? Thought we was good. Hey, Breeze Nation, what's good, man? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I'll tell you what's not good. Our Chicago Bears. That's not good right now. We got to talk about yesterday's game. I mean, you saw me, Kid, and Ringo's reaction to the game live. It was not good. There's so much to get into. The question on the table, was it the game plan? Was it the players? Who are we looking most at coming into today? We got a lot to get into, so I appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. You know we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. Only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. Oh, by the way, we got the squad in the building, whole squad. We got the pettiest man alive out in Indiana out here, living it up. Yeah, I mean, living that dream.
Gang.
Why do you have a pencil in your ear, bro? Like this?
Listen, I'm here to sit there and make all the adjustments to the game plan that Luke Getsy didn't make. You know. So that's all.
That's a small pencil, bro. You be
listen. If it was any big, never mind.
Hey, take that how you want. We got Ringo J in the chat. Stefan Adon in the building. Of course, the super producer Joel Holt and the statistician.
What's happening?
Hey. Ringo's the only guy in the building who suffered the worst.
Jay Clem. Didn't we settle on Jay Clem? Didn't we say Jay Clem is? JC sounds better than Jay Clem. Jay Clem makes me uncomfortable a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. We got a lot to get into. There was a lot of struggle from that game the other day, and listen, I mean, let's start it off here. Let's start off recapping the game. I mean, let's do that because the super producer got us set up. Go show what we got out here, brother.
Yep. I see you, Jay.
Listen, we gotta do something about it.
Listen.
Hey, that's hot though. Hey, listen, the production on that was better than the game.
My God, I mean, you see it right there. You see the breakdown right there, pretty much. I mean, 20 points to 38. The yardage. I guess the Bears were in there in on the fight, right? Like it's a situation where passing wise, all right, we saw rushing wise, we saw time possession. And the Bears got their butts kicked. There's nothing about this that makes you feel good. And at the end of the day, still 4 sacks allowed, still 1 interception on the day. And I do want to get into that as well because this narrative is going around that because of the pressure on every play, Justin Fields was bad. And that's just not the case. It's not realistic either. But we got a lot to jump into. I mean, listen. You saw Justin Fields yesterday, 216 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 59 rush yards. I guess we kind of got to see what we wanted to see realistically, though, right? Like we saw him pass the football more, right? Do we feel good about that? Anybody?
Dude, I saw that. I'm so glad I didn't rearrange my whole schedule because I had things that I could not make it, and I was kind of mad that I couldn't watch the game. I'm just so glad that I did not rearrange my weekend to watch that game because it was like, I saw it on my phone. I'm telling you, I'm like, dude, they had all offseason, all preseason. They had all training camp to come up with a game plan, and it was pedestrian out the gate. And it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then why are you going for 4th and 1 on like the 40? Like, what kind of play call is that?
I said this yesterday. I can deal with aggression, but it makes it a lot easier when you get the job done, don't it? Hey, like that's really what it is, right? When you want to be aggressive, when you want to go for it, it makes it a lot easier when you get the job done. It just yesterday was the word that I like to use when everything is bad. It was a cavalcade of trash.
Wait, no, that's not what we usually say.
What we got? What we got on? What they was doing out there?
Literal
doo-doo water.
Oh, yeah, not only that.
Yeah, what were they doing out there?
We were getting active. It was a lot of getting active, man. Just looking at the stats, they were dominated pretty much. I mean, this entire game. Listen, honestly, when I was looking at it, Bears first 7 offensive drives.
Yeah.
First drive turnover on downs. Second drive two penalties in Green Bay territory led to a field goal.
2 back-to-back false starts.
Third drive, 7-yard sack from 7-yard sack from the Green Bay 4 field goal. Fourth drive, 3 and out with a holding penalty. Fifth drive, 5 plays, 14 yards. Sixth drive, 3 plays, -2 yards. Seventh drive, 3 plays, turnover and a fumble. Mind you, only 3 passes were over 10 air yards.
Yeah.
Hey, Pat.
For Justin Fields.
4 passes for the day that were schemed to go more than 10 yards, 3 passes that were completed to go more than 10 yards. And I think the biggest question and why we're having, of course, this episode today is because Justin Fields talked after. By the way, Don Burr chiming in the chat said the Giants are trash too, homie. I just listen. That's how you make yourself feel.
I know. You
That's how you gotta make yourself feel, brother.
That's the whataboutism right there.
Hey, now the world knows the damn drones is trash.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Kid's the only one that was shooting the bell. Everybody knew Daniel Jones was trash.
I knew he was trash.
Nobody here.
Not because
nobody here was doubting the trash.
No.
As a Pappy.
No. They said the Giants were going. They were going to make the playoffs.
They still may make the playoffs now. Hold on.
No,
They might do that.
They might still make the playoffs. Look at the division they in.
Can I actually be a voice of maybe some reason?
Go ahead.
Of any of this?
Go ahead.
Typically, the offense is always slow, right? It always takes a little bit.
Comes out the gate slow.
So I think that technically this could be the Bears' actual first preseason game. They just did not look prepared to go out there. They weren't ready to do anything.
And that's the major thing, right? And
we never saw Yannick. We never saw Yannick, right? Until he played one. He played once a couple series against the Colts, I think. Did he?
Oh, you're talking about in preseason?
Just
no, we never
period.
saw Yannick.
Yeah.
In preseason, we saw Yannick. They had him out there three plays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my biggest issue was more about like, what was his game plan?
Yeah.
What were we doing? What was the goal?
Here's the question that I will ask to that, and Joel, of course, bringing up the topic: is the team prepared? Was the team prepared? And I thought that was a great topic to bring into this because a lot of what we talked about is an issue with game plan, is an issue with schedule. It was the compressor. Don't worry about it. Everybody knew that comes into this studio is like, what was that noise? It's the fridge compressor. We need a new one. We know. But no, I think that, right, you have to ask yourself one of two things. Do you want to see these guys in the preseason, get the reps in that they're supposed to get, all that blah, blah, blah? Or do you want to be behind what the rest of the NFL is doing, where the winning teams usually do this? Even though we're not winning, we're not there. I'm not saying that we are, but the winning teams do this. And then at the end of the day, you're more ready to go when you get to week 14, 15, 16. You're in a healthier situation. Or do we want to see them play these guys in preseason? Most of the teams that are doing it, I mean, listen, me and Kid talked about this yesterday on the live. It was so much bad football yesterday.
It was a lot of bad. It was a lot of bad. But I'm gonna say this. And the words of Draymond Green, you ain't Kobe. They don't love you like that.
But the whole league is doing it. It's not even just the Kobe.
But it's
right.
Not,
like
but,
I would
but,
get it
but,
if it was just
even,
Joey
even,
B.
Even
but it's
then,
like.
But even then, like, I mean, Deshaun has earned a certain cachet.
Deshaun ain't earned nothing in 2 years. He earned a case.
And you know what he earned? He earned a win last night.
I mean, even then,
he got a win.
Deshaun can't figure out not to
even
roll
then,
over
you got
on the
gotta,
table. Like we had, like you know what I mean? Like
now, all right.
I'm just saying,
Can I read you all something real quick?
Just saying, bro. Like we can't sit. We can't sit here and say, this is what the league is doing, and what it's telling the league is, guess what? We don't care about these preseason games. Realistically, we don't care about the first 2 games of the season. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just asking, is this something? Because we can't just say, right, was the team prepared is a valid question because the Packers who played in preseason looked prepared. And they looked like they were ready to play in a rivalry game. Chicago Bears did not play in preseason, did not. But we saw that all throughout the league yesterday. It wasn't just Chicago Bears. It's not me shooting in bail. This is literally me just asking the question.
Yeah, it was bad all around. Like, I mean, the fact that the Giants got blown out 40-0. I don't think I've seen that. They said that's 26-0 in the first half.
Oh, you just ain't been watching Giants football, dog. That's
no. What the Giants do.
I was saying
that's been happening for years now.
No, I'm just saying in general.
I think up until last year, week 1, I think it was like 5 straight weeks. We just
y'all didn't win a game opener. Yeah.
We never got an opening game. We never got.
What you think, kid?
No, they were definitely unprepared. But can I read you something real quick? I think you'll find this hilarious. You ready?
Story time.
Can you all hear me? Y'all got me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, you.
All right, so check this out. He looked inept throughout the game. He made no adjustments. He didn't try to move the pocket around, used too many screen passes. Screen pass would have helped keep the defense honest, but they used too many of them. Screen pass could have gained big yards, but became a little less aggressive. Instead, they did absolutely nothing, just calling dropbacks. That sound familiar?
Sound like what we said with Matt Nagy.
That's funny because this is an article about Matt Nagy.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I was gonna say what we said with Matt Nagy.
This is exactly what happened with Matt Nagy was coaching Justin Fields in his first game against the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's how bad it looked.
Bad game.
Now he didn't get sacked as many times, thankfully.
He's smarter.
He didn't look like he could read the defense any better. Got through his progressions more. I give him that. Me and Ringo had this conversation, but guess what? A lot of it just looked slow.
Yeah, but
so not only did the team not look prepared, I'll be honest with you. If I'm George, I'm looking at like I made all these changes for you to put the same product on the field. Like that's a real statement. Like George McCaskey, we just praised him for like getting out of his way, making changes, hiring the right people, and you put the same product on the floor. That wouldn't sit well with me if I'm an owner. Shouldn't sit well with Pose as a GM who's tied to this staff. It's a lot of implications for this game because this is our rival. It's we talked all that trash just to come out there and put the same product on the field that we've been putting out there. Somebody behind closed doors got chewed out. Don't know exactly who, but if this looks the same way it does next week, I expect a lot of changes to be made as the season goes on. This isn't one of those things where you sit there and say, "Oh, we wait to the end of the season." Nah, because once you lose fans' faith, it's going to be a whole different ball game.
They won't make changes because it's all 1-year deals. Nobody's here long term. Nobody's tied to anything long term. Your people that are here long term are co-commit. Chase Claypool be gone at the end of the season if he doesn't play well. And my God, listen, as somebody who defended you and came out and was in favor of you being a part of this team. Hey, how about you act like you give a rat you know what on the field? My God, dude.
All he needed was an offseason.
Dog, all he needed was an offseason. An offseason to do what?
I said it.
An offseason to do what? Like, listen, I was right there with him. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. Like, it's not for a lack of talent. I see the talent. You got to want to do something, though. He's 6'4", 6'5", 240, 250. So whatever it is, like, this Mike is LeBron James on a football field, and he getting blown up by a DB that's Ringo size.
Hey, that little... What's that? Who was that? Who's 23 on defense for the Packers? Jair
Alexander.
Oh, he was a pest.
Well, Jair Alexander is good.
That's what Jair does.
I'm just saying, but he was a pest.
Jair is good though, but it's Jair is good.
Well, I don't like him.
But it's one of those situations to me where what we saw yesterday on that field. From Chase Claypool, I felt like I saw that from too many people on the field. I felt like I saw that from the team. It got to a point where you could tell they didn't want to be out there. You could tell that they did. And J-Mac talked about this in the post-game show. He said on the sideline, there was nobody firing up the troops.
Nope.
There was nobody hyping up the troops. And you want to know what the biggest thing is? To the point of was the team prepared? If preseason does anything for you, and I get it, right? It's older players that are saying this. Lance Briggs talked about this today on the Chicago Bears podcast with me. J-Mac talked about this yesterday on the Chicago Bears post-game show on ESPN 1000. Y'all see them 2 plugs. Shout out to that. Hey. But
my man.
We should have my air horn working.
Hey, bro, stop playing. But no, he basically said that both of them basically said when you don't take these hits, you're not prepared when somebody come hit you on the field. And the Bears looked unprepared. The Bears not only looked shell-shocked when the Packers actually came out there and were making plays and actually were hitting, basically meeting them at the line on the field. The offensive line looked shell-shocked. But by the time we got to the third quarter, the whole team looked gassed.
They looked
like they hadn't played football.
DJ Moore was sitting there like this. Yeah. Where's the camera? It was like, dude, the 2 for 25, 2 receptions for this dude. He looked good when he got the ball. Like the game plan was horrible. Yeah. Like, why didn't you? Yeah. Why are we screen passing to death? Why can't we have 3 capable receivers and you're not even going down the field at all?
See,
they just
it looks so bad.
Here's the tough part. And my issue with the game plan is not the game plan itself. My issue with the game plan is you didn't adjust the game plan to make the game plan work. You just said it very much. Kid read that off about Matt Nagy in the first game, right? We went into the halftime. We were like, he's got to make an adjustment. He's got to help out JPP. Got to put a tight end in there to block, don't he? Like that's what a logical coach would do. And Nagy brought that same crap back out there. Justin Fields got murdered about 6 more times. That's what we saw yesterday. We didn't see any offensive adjustments from the first half to the second half. We didn't see a change in course. We didn't see added blocking when your offensive line was getting murdered. Your offensive line got murdered the entire game. Justin Fields was pressured on 42% of his dropbacks.
And I think
which led the NFL right now, by the way, also led the NFL last season with Justin Fields.
Can we also address one thing too defensively?
Go ahead.
We led the NFL, and I think we were top 3 teams in points allowed. We literally go into the next season opening up with 38 points on our head. There's no adjustment that happened, period. Like everything from the script of us being failures or we tanked for this stuff, you continued that with all the proper pieces there. It didn't even look like a resemblance of a team that was that even was inept enough to get something done. Like none of that was there. On top of the simple fact that you look at all the bad decisions that now get highlighted. We praise Poles when everything is working. But now we got to look at Chase Claypool look like a dud. That's a 2nd round pick. Velus Jones wasn't even there. Well, maybe he was there. He wouldn't play.
I want to see him there.
Guess what? That's a 3rd round pick. You look at all the other situations. Like Getsy is getting
hit on every pick.
I'm not expecting your rookie.
He's not gonna hit on every pick, but look at it. It starts to mount up.
No,
because now when the losing happens, the decision making gets questioned. Looked real good at the time, but now it starts to mount up, and you got to be real careful about that because now people are looking at why did you get Velus Jones? He's not going to be on the field. Why'd you get Luke Getsy to be this fantasy whatever? Like he's supposed to be the quarterback coach. He ain't doing nothing.
Well, here's my question with all of it. Right, is when we're talking about being prepared. How do you go out there and you don't have any option to get DJ Moore the ball? How do you go out there and you don't have any other option to get your other receivers the football? How do you go out there and like literally when you looked at this Bears team yesterday, it just looks like a team that was like, hey, we play football today. We ain't played football, right? We're talking about preparation. We're talking about the HITS principle. HITS principle starts with hustle and intensity. I didn't see a team that showed either of that. I didn't feel like that team was showing any intensity the entire time. And this is what I said that led to the hilarious clip over on the Chicago Bears podcast where I got tongue-tied and it sounded crazy. But shut up, Joe. But realistically, realistically, when you look at what hustling intensely is going to do, it's going to cause you to have soft tissue injuries, different things like that. If I'm hustling intensely, I probably am going to have to play through those things. By not playing through them in the preseason, like I get it, a hamstring, don't stress it. I'm not worried about hamstrings. Don't push yourself. All right, cool. Chase Claypool pulled his hammy. I bet. But dog, when we get to the point where it's like, what happened to him? Oh, somebody stepped on his foot. All right, he gonna miss the rest of the preseason. I mean, and at this point, you saw no continuity on that offensive line, and I'm looking square. Now, listen, it's not all on Nate Davis, but I am looking squarely at Nate Davis. I understand the personal stuff that you went through last week. I don't know what that was. Boom, you got it. I don't know if something tragic happened. I'm not going to speculate on it. I have no idea. I can count how many times you were at training camp. I can count how many times you were at practice in preseason. You played one time in a joint practice with the Colts. And they had nothing prepared just in case that went wrong. That's my biggest issue coming out of this game is there was nothing to adjust to what the Packers did. It's almost like you just basically saw, okay, this is what the Packers did last season. They're probably going to do that this season. And they didn't. The defense looked different. The defense was blitzing.
The defense looked ready. I mean, and that was one of my biggest points. Like when the game first started, I said there's about 8 or 9 first-round picks on this defense. There's no way they're going to come out like they did at the first half of last year and look the way they did. Like Luke Van Ness was flying around. Jair Alexander was flying around. Everybody.
Luke Van Ness is nice. I like Luke Van Ness. I liked Luke Van Ness in college, though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Like they were absolutely everywhere, and for you not to come out and adjust, it's like, man, we can't get DJ Moore on a jet sweep, nothing.
Yeah,
we can't get more on a jet sweep or anything. And the crazy part is, you know that the second half they're going down the field. Me, you kid, we're talking about it. These mugs are walking. These mugs are walking like they're not down. And then,
hey man, when you down by that much, ain't no sense in running fast. You ain't catching up.
The game.
I'm saying
what it shows is that the principles that Matt Eberflus is supposed to be instilling. That was a first year thing.
I think that I hate that like they just weren't prepared, but it was like this meant more. This was about setting the tone.
But it meant more to the Packers.
I know, but it has to mean
that's the problem.
Well, they had nothing to lose, right? We're supposed to lose. We have Aaron, but I did say like, well, dude's been sitting for 3 years. Jordan Love was what you said. He was good enough not to be amazingly great.
Here's the thing, though. Jordan Love didn't look good.
That's what I'm saying. He was good enough. They won the game.
He looked better than Fields.
Jordan Love's biggest yardage.
He looked better than Fields. He had 2 really good passes.
Jordan Love's biggest plays are broken plays that turned into something big. Down the left side.
The actual screen, that was a play. Dan said that was an actual play. It's supposed to be a so basically it's a fake rollout. And Aaron Jones is a play. It's a backside screen. It was a fake.
No, that one I know. That was a play. I just said
there was the one with the tight end.
I just said during the game. That's crazy. But they did a tight end fall off.
Tight end, he almost walked
the pass.
He fumbled the ball and broke coverage.
And literally, like, oh boy, I asked Lance. I was like, who the heck is this on? And he was like, the linebacker basically looked and was like, oh, he's rolling out. Oh snap! I'm not covering anybody.
Yep.
So it's like, and now listen. He takes advantage of it. Ball hits the dirt. That's the things that you want to see your young quarterback do. It's about him taking advantage of it. Jordan Love's still going out there taking advantage of the plays. But I didn't look at anything Jordan Love did yesterday, and I was like, oh, my God, this guy's going to tear the league up. I looked at his offensive line and was like, man, they're going to keep him alive a long time. He's going to be all right.
And his offensive line said he's going to tear the league up.
His offensive line was on point, and Don Burr is right. I have to
that back shoulder fade was crazy.
Woo, that one he put over Tyreek Stevenson, the Romeo dive.
Was nice.
That was a beautiful pass. That's the best throw he do all day.
Actually, no. The best. That was a nice one, but I think the first touchdown at the beginning of the game.
I thought that was cold too.
Because he looked. I forgot who that because it wasn't Eddie at first. He looked somebody off.
He controlled the defender.
He followed the man, right? And Eddie is supposed to then cover, which is something that you never want Eddie to do. But listen,
his body language allowed him to control certain defenders.
When people were sitting here and they were upset about Eddie Jackson yesterday in coverage, I said, I'm sorry, like Did I miss when Eddie Jackson became this great cover safety?
We
ain't talked about him being good in coverage since he's been here. That's not what I'm looking for him to do. I'm looking for him to be a ball hawk and lay the boom. That's all I want him to do. He's done that very well. At least he did last year, all until he ended up going out with the Liz Frank injury. Shout out to Gary. Gary said we beat ourselves yesterday. Packers took advantage. I do think there's an element of that, but it's not the whole story. The Packers defense put the Bears in a position that they were not prepared to be in. That to me yesterday, that was 100%.
I want to ask this question though. What do you make of? Because we obviously talked about them being down. What do you make of Justin Fields and DJ Moore not rallying the troops? Even though you know that this is a rivalry game, this is a week 1 game. You're obviously down.
I need all of Chicago to stop doing this. Stop expecting people's personalities to change. Like if we could just
Justin has not been a loud rally the troop guy this entire time.
No, he's in college. Justin, like listen, he's gonna come in there and he's gonna deliver you the message.
Mm-hmm.
But the message is, hey boys, let's go get the job done. Stop sitting on your butts. It's not coming with the Tom Brady fury and fire.
Ray Lewis.
It's not a Ray Lewis. I gotta do a rain dance to fire y'all up real quick. No, like that's not who Justin Fields is.
But
I don't expect him to be anything different. I don't expect DJ Moore to all of a sudden become this rah-rah guy. The guy who you thought might be the rah-rah guy is the dude that showed the least amount of effort yesterday, and that was Mr. O'Ban himself. You know what I mean? Like, this man was out there throwing 700 bands in training camp. He was looking like a band out there on the field.
Shout out to Edward for the super chat. Appreciate you, my man. Said QB play was bad in the NFL yesterday. Nevertheless, this is eerily like last season where they were when these first-time coaches and coordinators didn't look like they had a clue.
I mean, and that's the thing, and that's the question. I think realistically, the question is this because of preseason?
Yeah,
it's preparation, and it's not just with the Bears. The league looked awful yesterday.
I think this is what we got to understand. I think the problem is we, as the fans, we carry the hate of the Packers more probably than they do.
Oh, 100%.
This is business.
We're ready for it.
The fact that Justin Fields and Jordan Love, I guess, hung out together, they got the same agents, like. It's all a parody to them. They don't necessarily care. I mean, they care, but they would be nice if they won for us for the most part. But this is just another game for them. We got 17 more of these. My body got to go through all this stuff, and we'll get it right for the next game.
Yep. And you saw it. I'm not gonna lie to you. You saw it. Shout out to Robert for the super chat as well. I saw this boiling down to bad coaching, teaching bad habits. Good young talent can thrive with great coaching, even if people lack all pro talent. I think this is. The second they went to 17 games, you started to see teams not care. Think about the teams that play. Vrabel plays most of his. Vrabel didn't play his starting quarterback at all. Bill Belichick has gotten to the point where he's not putting mugs out there.
Yeah.
Like and it's not, I don't like it because our rivalry game is week 1. But is this what, because guess what? Next season, more than likely, week 18 is coming, or week 19 is coming, I should say. We're heading towards an 18-game schedule. So get ready for literally the first 3 games of the season, nobody to care about. And with that being said, 2 of the teams that were in the championship rounds last season, they lost one of their first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them lost the first 2 games.
Yeah, that sounds real good. But at the end of the day, you just mentioned 2 teams that were in the championship round. You can do that when you're in the championship round. You can't do that when you're losing your fan base. You have a bunch of this turnover. When you're in a position the Bears are in, you can't take that chance.
You're not.
And so at that point, it's like it's not. You can't sit there and use what the league is doing as the excuse as to why you looked unprepared. No, you looked unprepared because you didn't prepare your team. There's other teams who did play their players and they look more prepared. Green Bay did give Jordan Love more reps. He looked more prepared. Guess what? Justin Fields should have got those reps because I don't care what nobody says. This is not our franchise quarterback that's going to lead us to where we got to go just yet. He ain't been crowned that.
Well, the Packers.
Y'all think he has. He ain't been crowned that yet.
Look, this is
go ahead. No, I was just gonna say, but if you think about it, the Packers needed to do that. That was Jordan Love's second start.
But he's been sitting for 3 years though.
Yeah,
hey dog. Give me the games where Justin looked astronomical as a QB.
You can learn, but it's still like you still need that game speed. No,
give me the games where he looked good with Chase Claypool. That line looked good. Show me the moments in which all that continuity was there. It wasn't there. You don't get that in practice.
No, that's a very different question than what you just asked, though, right? Like, give me the games where Justin looks phenomenal. Justin has looked phenomenal. There are no games where he's looked phenomenal with all of these new pieces. And I think that's the reason why you kind of look at it and say, hey, maybe we should play these guys. Maybe we should put these guys into the preseason. But realistically, right, I just
like my QB to throw the ball, my G.
I don't know what the best case scenario for this is. I really don't. This isn't me like trying to say I'm right, you're wrong, whatever it is. Because realistically, right, if the Bears win the first game, we don't care. The Bears lose the first game. If they had won the first game, and me and Kid talked about this, if they had won the first game after going down 24-6, we'd have been like, man, it took y'all 3 quarters of football to get prepared. That's a problem. Right. The conversation is still you were unprepared for that moment. But I think that the part that
what if they lost better? If they just lost better.
The part that irritates Bears fans, and I think fans of most franchises, is that we care about week 1 and now the teams don't.
But see, you got to understand too, like the frustration is that this is an event for everybody, right? You're getting dressed, you got your jerseys, everybody's coming over there. Not even just going down there. I got everybody coming to the house. We all jerseyed up. We're ready to go. Like we emotionally ready to like explode. And you don't even give us. We got 1 touchdown from Mooney, right? And then Fields ran in.
The one time he threw it more than 10 yards.
And it's like
Mooney had a yard of separation on his defender.
Yeah, it's like we want more from that than just what we got as a product. So not just the fans that spent all that money to show up there, it's the entire city.
Yeah.
Actually, because and the other thing with that too is like we talked about this in Najim yesterday. Like, yo, you was doing all that talking.
Yeah, the Bears put the pressure on themselves.
Y'all said the offense was ready. It was looking mad nice. Wait, we got all the pieces. Watch what we about to do.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we see a completely different team next week.
Well, they probably
because now you got a game. Now everybody done played together. Now you finna have a whole nother week of practice.
There's no pressure because we're going down there in Tampa.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be there, by the way. Correspondence.
Hey, no, there's pressure because now we're gonna be looking at Baker carved you up.
Baker, I guess he did all right last week.
Baker looked like Baker.
But if Baker carved
Baker looked good. No, Baker looked like Baker Mayfield. We saw this with the Browns. He will have 2 quarters where he is hitting OBJ dead in his chest. He falls in the end zone. We'd be like, it's Baker.
He never hit him.
Hey, my G. Hey, he definitely never hit OBJ.
Did we shout Gary Catachone?
What Gary say?
He said my player of the game is super chat. My player of the game was Roshan. And for the record, where was it? I got a stat graphic for him. He was one of the 4 people I think that actually did in the game.
All right.
And so I had some love for Roshan because he only had 20 rush yards with 5 carries, but that's a 4-yard per carry joint with 1 touchdown. Like he was mean. Look at that one right there. Look at that picture behind you. Mean. He was bowling cast over. I loved it. I loved it.
I know. I don't even watch that play for Roshan no more. I swear for the Lord. Go back and watch that play. Chase Claypool is supposed to be blocking. All of a sudden, you see it. I swear it looks like somebody edited it in. Edited it. I swear it looks like somebody edited it in. You just see Chase Claypool go flying left. Bro, it looks unreal. As Roshan hits him, you just see somebody hit Chase, and it's like Jazz from the Fresh Prince. Like, bro,
that's crazy.
Here's another bad thing, though. Roshan had 6 receptions, too, for 35 yards. That's 3 times more than DJ Moore.
Well, I think
let's get JC Mike on.
Oh, keep going.
Did you not? Now he's not gonna say it again.
Okay, so Roshan Johnson had 6 receptions yesterday.
Yeah.
That's 3 times more than DJ Moore. That's a good thing on one end, but at the same time, you went out and traded your number 1 pick for a top 15 receiver.
Yeah.
And didn't get the ball.
Receptions.
It's arguable.
Top 15. I give him 15.
20?
Maybe 15. Top 20 for sure.
Okay.
He close.
He's
close.
one of the better receivers. The point is that this guy is a receiver that has already in his career more yards than any Bears receiver in history, and you're using him as a decoy.
Yeah, no, and I said this last night on the post game show, bro. Like, here's the thing. I'm done with the excuse of they double teamed him, so it took him away. We did this with Khalil Mack. We did, and with Mack, it's a little bit different because, like, literally on the right side of the line, everybody else was dead. So it's like they sending 3 dudes at you, somebody else do something. But I'm sorry, bro. Like, I can sit here and go through a list of the top 15 wide receivers. Guess what? Every single one of them gets double teamed.
And you don't think they was doubling Tyreek yesterday?
Oh my God, they was probably tripling Tyreek at a certain point. Like every wide receiver gets double teamed unless it's Mr. Trubisky versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then they playing man the entire game. But it's not realistic to think that do we think the rest of the way they're not going to double team DJ Moore?
We also got to keep it a buck. Justin just missed them a few times.
I mean, listen, I got to see what
we saw the tape. I sent some of the stuff.
I don't know what tape you saw, dog. That's the other thing I got to see too, bro. Like, everybody keep talking about this tape.
You can see the condensed tape, and some of it is out there.
He sent me some.
I'm telling you, you just saw the extra edge of the TV that you couldn't see, bro.
But if that's all it was, that means the all 22 is gonna look worse.
He did send some different angles. He missed him on one. I told him he missed him on one.
No, I'm not even saying that. Listen, Justin missed. I think that's a part of the conversation. But is it he missed because of the pressure that's there? Is he missing because that's not who he was supposed to go to on that play? Right? Like and even Matt Eberflus talked about Justin Fields. There were times where he missed DJ Moore down the field, and you got to take those shots. But the amount of misses that mounted up, I'm sorry, it's still 42% pressure on you.
We got another super chat from, I can't read that date. What was that?
Davis Beasley.
There you go. How long for Getsy to open up the playbook week 14?
I mean, he better open it up next week.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be this is and I think that's
what do you mean by open up the playbook? I don't understand that.
Bro,
when did we close the playbook? Why was the playbook closed yesterday? what happened? Talk to me. What's happening right now?
Bijan looked great yesterday. It takes a lot.
Hook 'em horns.
I want
hook 'em horns. Hey, hook 'em horns. Roshan looked great yesterday too. I got
Roshan looked real good yesterday. I'm sorry. Bijan wouldn't go help that because we want to go get him the ball.
No, he would have got the ball yesterday.
I don't know.
Raging said, watch the all 22 correctly and you'll see the lunacy he's seeing. It's not out yet.
It don't come out till when.
It's not come out till Wednesday, but there's film that gives you different angles.
Hey, I'm calling out everybody who say watch the all 22 unless you got a league connect.
Hold on. Let's double check it again. Let's go to NFL Plus. Hold on.
It's not out yet.
I know it's not it's condensed film is out. That's bro, and I mentioned that in the chat.
Because I've been hearing this all day. You gotta watch the tape. Ain't no tape yet.
I'm with you, bro. Dude, all NFL Plus is doing is showing you a condensed look of the game. That's literally.
But they are giving you wider angles. They really are giving you wider.
That's literally what League
Pass
on TV. That's what League Pass is, bro. It's a condensed version of the game. They have condensed versions of the game. That's all you watching.
Bars.
All 22.
I can pull that up on YouTube.
The all 22 doesn't come
that's
out
facts
until,
though. I will say this.
What?
And my favorite thing about today too. This is the two things that I've seen today. This is why I'm calling. There's a new.
I'm calling cases.
There's a new thing. Bro, no facts. I said this going into ESPN yesterday. I said the first person that calls in and says that the Bears should sell the team, I'm going off on them. The first person that calls in and says that they watched the tape, I'm going off on them. One, because half of y'all don't know what y'all looking at anyway. I know half of what I'm looking at. I'm going to NFL players to figure out the other half. On the other, you dig. I'm sitting here and when the first call I get where somebody's like, the McCaskies just need to sell the team. Shut up, you're not selling $1 billion entity. You broke. You ain't selling the shoes you got on your feet.
You want to talk about it, Pat?
Why you
Hey, you okay, my boy?
Go like that one?
No, because it's
why are you talking
you
about
gotta
like
deal
that
with the
one
fandom.
scene on Lottery Ticket when they was on the roof?
I can't eat. Bro, like
because the fandom comes
because
in.
it irritates me when people are just sitting here online. So I saw somebody today.
He said the all 22 is out. Is it? Hold on.
Bro, ain't no all 22 out. Like I said,
It's not out till
It comes out 24 hours afterwards, though.
Like 24 to 48. Sometimes they put it out 24, sometimes they put it out 48, but it's not out right now.
There you have it, homeboy.
And mugs think that they could just sit here and watch mugs on YouTube, and all of a sudden they learned how to watch tape. That's not how it goes. You don't know how protection schemes are going. You don't know what the defensive assignments are all the time. You don't know what the route tree is. You know how I know? Because I don't know it. I go ask people that played the game.
And sometimes they guessing because they don't know what that coach installed.
And well, with the protection scheme, I've gone to or J-Mac and I've asked J-Mac about a blocking scheme. He took it to Olin Kreutz and he was like, Olin literally said, "This is what I think it is, but I don't know if they called this."
It changes. It's variations. Everyone has their own spin on it.
But it's just one of those things for me where those are the two dumbest things that I see every day. I saw somebody today literally, and it's also about building narratives that you just want to be true on both sides. I think that there are people that are too hard on Justin Fields. I think that there are people that are going too hard to defend Justin Fields. I saw somebody today, they said Justin Fields in this picture, or this wasn't a screen pass. All four linemen are looking Justin Fields in the face. The part that they don't know or aren't paying attention to, and Muzz are just retweeting, is that was the play where Justin Fields threw the interception. Justin Fields had 4+ seconds of protection. He stepped into the throw. It was a bad read. Those things happen.
You want to know why I don't even really fault him for that read? Because it was down. He was trying to make something happen.
No, dog, no.
It
was over after that.
Whether it's over or not. Whether it's over or not. I fought you for that read. That was a bad read,
dog. He was just trying to make something happen.
And
no, you don't. It was
you don't force a turnover, dog.
There was no Bears jersey around that. They picked him off. That was a bad read or throw regardless. You still gotta be smart. Like the thing is that this game was a tale of two halves because they were boring, but it was like they were controlled because it was like 10. It was 7-6 by the half and 10-6.
Well, 10-6 at the half.
10-6 at the half. They were still composed to a degree. It was boring, but they were holding them. And then eventually it was like they got tired, and because they weren't aggressive, they weren't trying to score. Then the Packers actually started to heat up because they were keeping Love pretty much in check. He was overthrowing everybody. Mm-hmm. He wasn't looking that good in the first half. It's like the defense got tired. Now, our offensive line looked bad. I mean, like, as much as Darnell Wright that people are trying to trash him, but if you got guys blowing up the middle, the right guard.
Well, that's the problem.
Like the whole line.
That goes back to Kid's first point, right? Lucas Patrick, my God.
Wait, did you see that the entire Bears offensive line got called for a penalty?
Yeah. Hey, bro.
The entire line. I've never heard that before in my life.
False start. Everybody.
They said no. It said the entire offensive line.
Yeah, I know.
I'd never heard that in my life.
So what's worse?
Hey, Joe, what was the call?
The entire offensive line has been called for offsides.
So does that count as multiple penalties or just one?
It's just one penalty. Penalty.
All right. Does everyone get credited with that penalty though?
Is it when the entire offensive line
all of them got it
penalty, or is it when because I think it's funny when they do it in college because it'll be like penalty on the offensive line except for 64. Except for 64, he's good. Everybody else, penalty.
Everybody else, y'all trash. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would have made me feel better a little bit because it would have been holding the entire offensive line except 58. All right, Darnell Wright's good though. Darnell Wright's good.
Hey, like it'd be so funny to me, man. Like, hey, they did that in the Colorado game. That was hilarious.
Here's the one conversation I do want to have before we get out of here, because we spent so much time talking about the offense. Realistically, we gave up 38 points. We gave up 38 points. We gave up 28 points
in the second half.
What
we're supposed to be better.
I know where it's going.
Bro, like the defense is supposed to be ahead of the offense. We just saw none of that. I mean, there's no, and I get it. There's no pressure on the other side. DeMarcus Walker got to be better, but realistically, my biggest concern right now, one is Justin Jones. He can't beat his man one-on-one. He got a bunch of one-on-one opportunities. Can't beat his man. And the other one that is really concerning to me right now is the Allen Williams, and the fact that you had just continued to watch guys not get pressure, and you didn't bring your linebackers downhill but 2 times. And the 2 times you did it, literally we saw on the defensive side what we saw on the offensive side. The couple of times where you did the things where we were like, hey, maybe if you do this, it'll work. It worked.
Hey, Pat, could you do me a favor?
What's up?
Because we had a lot of people say this on the live. I know there's some people thinking about it now. Explain to them what our defensive scheme is, why it's not predicated on pressure on the QB, and whether or not that actually makes sense for a Bears team. Do you break that down? I thought you did a good job with it. Yes.
I mean, cover 2 is basically just a 42 nickel. It's not a
break it down in layman's term. What does that mean?
It's
Who's going to be where?
To make you make bad decisions because they trick you in coverage. So they have the safety cheat off, or the linebacker can cheat to possibly make you throw interceptions. But the problem is, if you're not
rush 4.
If you're not right, you can only rush 4. So if you don't have 4 good defensive linemen, you're screwed. And the tight end, if you have a very good tight end, it can find those underneath routes and exploit you. So a good quarterback can make that timing in between the linebacker and between the linemen to make those quick throws. That's why Aaron Rodgers would kill us, Peyton Manning would kill us. But the average quarterbacks can't beat that defense, or they have a lot of trouble doing it.
But the problem with it is, no matter what it is, you have to have pressure from your 3 tech.
You have to.
And we saw yesterday, we just don't. We have zero pressure coming up the middle. Maybe Javon Dexter gets to that point. Maybe Zach Pickens gets to that point. I wasn't expecting them to be to that point in week 1 of the season, but you have to have that pressure up the middle, and the Bears weren't able to generate any of that pressure up the middle. And so without the front 4, this defense is basically linebackers and DBs fighting for their lives.
Yeah, that 3 tech.
And you know what though? I'm
Well, we were hoping that the rook Carter, right?
Jalen
Carter was supposed to be.
Nah, he was.
Yeah, Jalen Carter, nice.
But the problem is,
hey, I ain't gonna lie to you though. I don't even care. Kalijah can't see a dog.
Oh no!
He was the first.
I'll get that to you.
Hey,
I'll get that to you.
That's who I wanted.
I
said, you telling me I'm getting Jalen Carter talent without a murder? I'll take it.
Yeah. No murders, please.
But you want to know why Eberflus ain't even like at the top of the discussion, like when it comes to defense, because the Chargers
look bad. But I still
and they got the name.
Hey,
I don't care about the Chargers.
Hey guys, watch this. So Justin Fields threw for what? What did he throw for? 216 yards.
216
right?
yards. Yep.
How many times did Justin Fields throw for over 200 yards last year?
Once.
Twice.
I was gonna say once was against the Packers.
Yeah, 2
end of the season,
and he threw like 2
against
the Vikings.
So
now
listen, if he just throws another 200 some yards, guess how many yards he'll average this year?
4,200.
Almost 4,000. 3,757 yards. He's on pace to get 3,000 yards just off this type of play he played right now. So if we
that's why, hey, y'all want to know something? That's why I literally said a 4,000-yard passer is the dumbest stat in the world at this point. I shouldn't be sitting here expecting a 4,000-yard pass.
It ain't dumb when you ain't never seen it.
Hey, bro, still dumb.
It's only dumb when you can say there's plenty of them. Ain't plenty of them going through this building.
But there's an improvement. He threw for 100 some yards the first game last year.
Yeah.
and he's already at 200.
Here's the thing. I still believe, even moving forward, that this team is going to move in the right direction. I know it's Packers week as a gut punch. We lost week 1. Yes, I do think that it's a big loss that you lost week 1. I think the morale in that room absolutely was dead after losing this. They were shell shocked after that game, and hearing Justin Fields talk to McKee after the game and stuff like that, like shell shocked. They were not expecting the Packers team that rolled into Soldier Field here. But I hope that this is the calling card that tells you to get your butt in order.
Yeah.
I hope that this is the calling card that tells you, hey, listen, because here's the thing. As much as the Bucks did last week, they didn't look good either. The defense looked like it was able to get pressure, but I told y'all all year this Vikings offensive line is
But I mean,
now granted, our offensive line is yeah, I mean, like it ain't great either. So, but we got a Justin Fields, they got a Kirk Cousins.
I want to throw this out there real quick, to your point, actually. So we know hindsight.
Turn them up.
You can't hear myself. So hindsight is 2020, right? So when we look back at the draft, we had honestly 2 chances to get what's your boy's name on Philly now?
Carter?
Jalen Carter, right? We passed up on that because of off the field issues. So you know what he did yesterday as far as pressures? How many pressures he had?
No, how many?
6 pressures, 1 sack. How many did the whole team have for Chicago? 6 pressures.
1 sack.
1 sack.
Yannick.
Pull up that Yannick.
I got a Yannick
Pull
stat.
up that Yannick stat right there.
But
Hold on, ask that question again. How many pressures did the team have? Boom, right there. 1 sack, 3 tackles. He got all 6 pressures.
Hey, Tyreek, though, he looked, well, you said, he looked good in the beginning.
Tyreek Stevenson is a hit or miss, but I get your point with Yannick, right? Like, or with Jalen Carter.
But that's the system.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, but he's a talent, though.
He
came
into an environment that can help keep his, because he was immature. But are you ready to pin your future and your franchise on the immaturity?
But here's what I'm not going to kill polls for, and I refuse to do this. What did we say leaving last season?
I don't know, Pat. What we said
when we talked about the team? What did we say you had to do?
Get to the QB?
No, I'm not talking about just the defense. The Bears as a whole.
We said he had to get weapons.
You got to get weapons. You got to help Justin Fields.
Oh, yeah, got to get weapons.
This offseason, he focused on going out and getting weapons and trying to get Justin Fields' offensive line help. Now, it pisses me off that Nate Davis has basically had his feet kicked up for 17 weeks, and he's getting $10 million this year. It irritates me that you weren't out there to help out your rookie right tackle, who basically was just like, yeah, this is a tough first game. Anybody got any insight? Oh, you ain't been here. What's your name? Nathan? That's crazy. Oh, man. What happened to Lucas? He's at center? That sucks. All right, bet. I'm not going to kill Ryan Poles for doing what Bears fans left last season saying to do and doing what made sense. You needed offensive linemen. Did Darnell Wright look great in his first game? No, didn't.
I don't think that's fair, though, because you can't have – the line is as strong as your weakest link. And if you got the whole middle of the line getting beat up, blown up, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, too, about Jordan's Jalen Carter point. I think that was my deal when the whole draft thing came about, because I wanted Will Anderson. I wanted Will Anderson, and I said that.
What did he do yesterday?
Huh?
What did he do yesterday?
Not much.
I just want to be sure. Okay.
And for the record, so the chat's been going crazy. I'm like, I'm not stating that Justin Fields getting 3,000 yards and we lose. I don't want that. I'm just showing the satire of having a 3,000 yard.
No, Joe, that is what they want.
But see what this is the thing though.
They want. Can you imagine if who's my boy? Who's no boy? Kid LASIK in Tampa.
Oh,
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. Yeah, Can you imagine how we would talk about potential if Jameis Winston had a 30-30 season here, over 5,000 yards?
Legendary.
All he's got to do.
He got LASIK. He can see. We would have been riding, bro.
Yeah, man.
Hey, no, I ain't gonna lie to you. Justin throws for 33 touchdowns and 5,000 yards and 28 INTs. I'm riding with Justin. I'm sorry. It was like, hey, listen, he got potential. I don't know where the 28 INTs came from, but he got potential. I'm riding with Justin. So, yeah, it'd be a totally different thing as opposed to him having 5,000 rushing yards. I want my QB to throw. That's all it is.
I just pulled it up. Will Anderson did his thing. 2 tackles, two tackle assists, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss.
Yeah, I mean, he was the number one player to me coming out of college. I think the Jalen Carter issue was more so what I was saying. Like, he's playing at Georgia. That whole D line and that entire linebacking core, even the Keely Ringo corner, those are NFL caliber talents. Yeah. So it's like, even if he comes to Chicago and he might get exposed, that talent around him,
he's gonna get exposed because now in Philly he's with all his people.
Yeah,
but think about this, y'all. And this is what I keep saying. Yes, the defense looked awful yesterday. 38 points. Yes, 100%. What do we need to build?
Not they need
what
weapons.
Do we need to build?
They need weapons.
Are we surprised if the Bears build another defense? Are we gonna be we got Joel out here? Joel got it behind him now. Listen, it's 36 inches of bear head back there, all built off of defense, defensive line, linebackers, safeties. I mean, like, what are we shocked about here?
Shout out to Drew Brees.
An offense. That's why I left, or that's why I left last season feeling like, okay, left the draft feeling like, okay, you attacked the wide receiver position, you attacked the offensive line, whether it's working out or not. It's gross right now. You gotta do more there, clearly.
Well, and we're not full. We need Tevin back. I can't rely on Tevin. I'm just saying, but we need the guy back. Like
Tevin has just as much time on the field as some of these new guys.
Somebody say, hey,
it doesn't matter. He's there now until we get someone else to replace him.
Bro, hey. Tevin got Mike Tyson issues. It's spinal.
I broke my back.
And he came into the league
my
with
back,
this.
my neck, and my back.
Hey, I will say this. I gotta give this one comment some love, just because it actually does kind of ring true. Maybe the Packers were just that good. Maybe the Bears did underestimate. This is from Red Sea Game. I actually put it up here. Like, we talk about what we didn't do and all that stuff. That's true.
Let me say this.
But maybe the Packers were just that good. Like, we can talk about how mid Jordan Love is or whatever, but he had a lot of time to think. And a mid quarterback with a good line will look good, and their team will have a high probability of success. He had that. Their run game looked dominant. Their defensive line looked dominant. They looked good. They were the better team yesterday. And maybe that's just a prerequisite as to what they've built this season. Not to say that they dominate us at QB, but collectively, they may be a force to be reckoned with. So we might not be able to sleep on them like that.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that they're established. Their system is in place. They're playing the same system. The quarterback has been in the same system for 3 years. So it's a continuation of what they've put in place. And we are really only in year 2 of a system that they've been running for what? At least 5 years with LaFleur. So did
anybody sign Gabe? Yeah. Sign him yet?
Waiting to say that.
I'm sad he's not in the league no more because of his name. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think he got signed.
Yeah.
Hey man, if you ever want to come on the podcast, Gabe, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, it's just I think the coaching. Shout out to my man Drew B. Coaching was bad. They came out flat. They came out flat out the jump, and it looked bad. It just looked bad on just the eye test. They didn't pass it at all. The defense had a lot of holes, but see, the thing is, the defense. We said this. The defense is not a top 10, maybe a top 15, but we need Justin Fields to extend the plays. You're not doing any RPOs. All it looked like it was like he was doing last year, running for his life to escape the pocket. And then they're starting to spy him, so they're starting to get him a little bit more than he was able to get away with last year. Yeah. But now you have all these weapons, and there's no dump-offs. There's no safety valves. Like, there's no excuse.
My favorite thing in the world is Overreaction Monday, because literally half of the league is the worst team that you've ever seen, and the other half of the league has a bright future, when even realistically, a lot of the teams on the other half of the league looked bad. I mean, realistically, how many teams looked good yesterday?
2.
Well, speaking of which,
San Francisco
no,
looked good.
no,
Miami
3.
looked good.
Green
Three.
Bay looked good yesterday.
Well, speaking of which,
Dallas looked good.
I had the Dallas defense on my fantasy squad, and I got 40
Dallas-
points out of that.
Dallas
No,
look good.
I'm gonna say that. No,
Shout out to Clown
We gotta
Pun.
give you some for that.
Shout out to Clown Punishers because I got him week 1.
Is that-
JP,
is
what's
that-
up, baby?
I'm gonna say this.
Hey, kid, you better hope Aaron Rodgers don't go off tonight. Him and Garrett Wilson.
I got like a 60-point lead on Joel. I'm not worried.
That's in that league. That doesn't count. I had 4 or 5 guys.
Hey,
I
Dallas.
got kids stomped in one league, and then in the other one, I got Garrett Wilson, Kincaid, and Kincaid, and
he gonna be nice.
and
He gonna
Aaron
be
Rodgers
nice.
going
He
tonight.
definitely sound like an MK character.
I
though.
still got Dalvin Cook tonight, and I still got Mosley.
Dude, I had
Linebacker.
7 points.
So I mean, I still projected the game points, and I got a 60-point lead on you.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
I don't
Dallas.
think you got nobody else going in our league, do you?
I do.
I got Brees
The
Hall.
very game you're talking about, I got 2 more people to play. That's playing. So
You got Dalvin Cook. That's it.
Yeah, Paris.
Oh, you got the kicker. Oh no, you got the linebacker.
you
CJ
got the
Mosley.
linebacker.
Get you some points. That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, my G. But
see.
it might be a 1-1 for me and you.
Yeah, hey, listen, but it's a 1-0 in the league that I care about. Foul. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing
Hey,
love.
he's in so many leagues he can say that. Like, oh,
bro,
that's Joe's
I
league. I don't care about that league.
No, hey, listen, the Breeze league got auto drafted because I was tired at that point. I was ready to drink.
Hey,
and
but you
then-
didn't auto draft for this league. You just getting beaten this league. That's okay.
Which one?
The HFL? You
that's
didn't
my-
auto draft that league. You
Oh, the
drafted
HFL
that league.
Yeah,
The HFL I drafted it.
That's my.
Yeah, exactly. So you're getting beat. Don't worry about it.
Poor Jordan, he tried to get
I
into
don't
the
know
league.
What is going on with you? Oh, don't even talk to
Oh,
me about that.
no, that's why you were in the
Hey, I still
BFL
won.
league. That's
I still won my week 1, even though I almost got.
I feel so
canceled.
bad for the people who couldn't pick their own teams.
Sometimes that's how I go. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes it's literally just get the highest point getters and they
Oh,
all get
yeah.
hot for 1 week,
it was 44 points.
and then by the end of the season it'd be over.
And I still got Quentin Williams going tonight and Brees Hall. Yep.
I get.
Who's
I
not
get
winning that
I get a
game?
deuce in the
Breeze
quarter.
League,
I'm trying to get a deuce in the
literally
quarter.
4 of us gave up on the Breeze League
I
because
want a
nobody
deuce
said
and a
we
quarter,
drafted the
people.
defense.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. When Joe threw that, the fact that Muzz had to draft the
Yeah.
defense into the Breeze League,
Yeah, we
half of the
we
league
just
was
stopped.
like, I'm done.
We just stopped.
Hey, we told y'all we'd do a legacy league or whatever it's called. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got to get up out of here, man. We'll be back tomorrow breaking down more Bears football. Bears have an off day tomorrow, but I mean, listen, there's still so much to break down from this game. And moving ahead, I mean, realistically, tomorrow you got to try and figure out, and what the Bears are going to be trying to figure out, what the heck do we do versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? But as always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Stefan Adon, the super producer Joel Holt, JC, the statistician, and of course, the pettiest man alive, Mr. P Kid. Hold up. Foul. There you go, Mr. P Kid. Hey, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. One love. Pat the Designer.
One love.
Fair down.
One
We still suck.
love.
Peace.
One love.